it's a great day for Clemson basketball. Anytime you help one of your players realize a dream, it's special. And that's what we're in the business of doing here, is preparing young men for the future. I couldn't be more proud of KJ and the way he's carried himself and conducted himself the last 3 years. He's been a model player. Certainly it's been unbelievable for our coaching staff to watch a guy develop as quickly as he has. KJ's a sponge. He really wants to learn. Incredibly hard worker, humble, was always a team guy and put the team first. And I think he did a phenomenal job this season of, in the midst of all his popularity, of maintaining focus and always talking about team. He was a great example for our young players. So, we're just very proud of him. We're happy for him. It's special. And, this is one of the things we want to do as coaches here, is we want to send guys to the NBA. And certainly I think KJ's ready and excited about it. And, we're just very proud as a basketball family for him.
KJ, how difficult was the decision?
It was difficult. It's going to be difficult leaving the Clemson family. And, I've enjoyed everything Clemson has done for me. Coach Brunell, our coaching staff, and my teammates. And it was a difficult decision, but, I feel like, it's a dream come true. And, it's what I've been wanting. So, I feel like it was time.
When did you arrive at the decision? Did you know in February? Did you know 2 days ago? I mean, when about did you finally come to peace with it?
I finally came to pieces with it probably last week. And, it took a lot of thought, but, it's just something I've been chasing after. And, I felt like it was a good time to, go and, chase the dream.
Have you talked to a lot of guys maybe in the league, or a lot of, I know that you mentioned you met with an agent, but I mean, have you been a sponge, as Coach says, in terms of gathering information about what it's going to be like to make this transition?
No, most definitely. I actually spoke with Trevor Booker about my decision, and he helped me a lot, and my mom, she helped me out a lot with it, and it's just something I've been wanting, and it's a dream come true, and I'm definitely happy, and I'm happy for my coaches for helping me get this far.
KJ, did you think when the season began you'd be able to put up this kind of season that would get you to this point where we're talking about you as a first round pick?
Oh well, I mean, I felt like I could. I felt like Coach gave me the opportunity to go out there and perform, and with him giving me the opportunity, I felt like I went out there and gave him my all, and I went out there and played for the team, and played for Clemson.
You mentioned talking to Trevor. What was that conversation like, and what advice did he give you?
I mean, he said, you feel like you're ready, go out there and chase your dream, and go get your dream. And it's something I've been wanting for a long time, and ever since I got to Clemson. So it's been a great transition, and I've had the best time at Clemson. It's been a great experience for me.
The NBA personnel that you consulted, what was the common take from them on where they thought you would go in the draft?
Really, to be honest, KJ's not supposed to get into some of the information we got from NBA executives, and he wouldn't be going out if he didn't think he was going to be drafted. So there's part of this that the NBA wants to keep some of that information confidential, and so I don't think it's appropriate for him to comment.
You start looking at, internet mock drafts and say, I could be playing with Tim Duncan next year, or I could be playing with so-and-so or any of those.
Not really. I just stay humble and, just try to, stay hungry. And, I still have a lot of learning to do, I feel. So, me going to the next level, I feel like it's a great step for me, but, it's still a lot of learning I have to do.
Have you formed your own expectation of how high you could go in the draft? I mean, just reasonable based on how you've assessed things?
Not really. I've just been, just listening to my coaching staff, listening to what I needed to do, and, just staying humble as always.
What happens now? Chicago, I think, is the place where guys would go. Or there's some other things now. You've got a schedule ahead of you leading up to the draft.
Yes, sir. We have to start getting back, working out, and I've started working out here at Clemson. So I mean, just preparing for it now.
KJ, what do you think you have to improve on before you get to the next level, and then once you get there?
Physicality. I feel like I need to be, a lot more physical. Skill-wise, ball. ball handling I have to work on, and being a more consistent shooter.
Brad, you talked in the past how you were kind of learning about this process on the fly. Now that you've gone through it, what are your thoughts on what you experienced?
It's overwhelming if you're not careful. I think it takes a mature young man to not let it affect your play, and I also think it takes a group of unselfish teammates to really understand that the microscope that the player is under and the distractions and the amount of things that they have to deal with. So certainly, we had some idea of what it was going to be like, but it's constant and it doesn't go away, and it puts pressure on you basketball wise. It puts a ton of pressure on you for school. It puts pressure on your teammates. It's just, there's a light shining on one of your players the whole time, and if they don't handle it right, it becomes a distraction and a problem for your team. I think KJ did as good a job as you can do of deflecting things and just trying to stay focused with our team and always putting our team first and what we were trying to accomplish this season. He made, several statements throughout the course of the year every time he was asked about, he's not thinking about it. And to be honest with you, when you spend time with KJ, he wasn't thinking about it. His mind wasn't on playing for a draft position or I've got to do this or that. His mind was on what do we have to do to win. And, that's very mature, and I think that's, I don't think there's a lot of guys that are always going to be that way. It's hard, and certainly it puts more stress on your staff. It put a lot of stress on our assistant coaches to do different things to help manage situations, to help keep some things away from KJ so he didn't have to focus on or wasn't distracted by other things and could focus on basketball and school. And so it's a lot bigger deal than the normal person would understand.
KJ, where does that need to keep your humility come from and just focus on the task at hand?
Repeat that again?
Where does that humility come from?
Well, I get a lot from, thanks to God, first. I want to thank God for it. And, my mom, she's helped me. We've been through a lot together. And, she's pushed me, so hard. And without her, I wouldn't be this far. So, just, giving glory to God and, giving glory to my mom. She's definitely, the reason why I'm here, why I got to Clemson. And, she's pushed me this far. And, I think that's where it comes from.
Was there a defining game where you just said, "That's it, I'm going to the draft now"?
No, it took a lot of thinking, because my teammates, they were great to me, and they understand what I've gone through. So, I've never had a game and been selfish like that, toward my teammates. So, I thank my teammates as well too, and it was a difficult decision, but no, there wasn't a game where I just said no, I'm leaving.
Why was it a
Was there
difficult
a
decision?
Go ahead.
Why was it a difficult decision?
Just like my teammates and just the Clemson family and how much Clemson appreciated me and show how much they appreciated me, and I love Clemson for that.
KJ, now that you're getting ready to leave Clemson, is there, I don't know, a favorite dunk or jam or block maybe you think back on and say, I really enjoyed that one?
Well, my favorite dunk this past year would have to be the putback against Auburn, back in my hometown, and my favorite block was against SMU in the semifinals.
Brad, with KJ leaving, but you still have most of the team coming back,
Yeah.
how does that change the outlook moving forward?
Well, I still feel very good about where our program's headed, what we're doing, who we have returning. We anticipated this could happen a little bit last year, and as one of our factors in oversigning a little bit was you're always concerned with, getting caught. And I don't think we got caught. I think we managed our roster very well. We like the kids coming in, our freshmen. I think you've seen great development out of players in our program. Rod Hall had a terrific junior season. We expect him to be a great leader in next year's team. DeMarcus really made strides late in the season. I thought improved a good bit. And Landry had a terrific sophomore year. So we're still very excited about our future. We're going to miss 32. I mean, there's probably 8 to 10 points a game that he does. He affects the game. You're talking about great players, and a lot of times it's a guy who can make shots or a guy who can do this or do that. But KJ affects the game in so many ways, and probably 8 to 10 points a game are just his athleticism, where he goes and gets a tip dunk. He goes and blocks a shot. Maybe he blocks a shot and it leads to a fast break for us that you don't coach. And we won't have those points. There's not another guy that we're going to have that's going to make those kind of plays. But I do think we have good players in our program, and we've recruited well. We're developing players well. There's confidence in our program, which I think is good. And anytime you're part of the development of a young man going to the NBA, that helps you in recruiting. So I really feel very positive about what's going on. Today's a great day for Clemson basketball, and we're excited about next year and excited to see what KJ does in his next step.
When you recruited him, did you think this day was possible?
You know what? I knew right away. I came back and told Coach Grant, it's funny. I typically like guys that have a little more skill level than KJ had coming out of high school. And so Coach Grant at one point was like, I don't know if he even wanted to send me to see KJ because he's like, I don't know if Coach will like KJ. He's not as skilled. You like a more skilled guy. And when I went and saw KJ, ironically, my wife went with me, and we went and saw him play. And, right away it was like his athleticism just jumps right out. And he affects so many plays in the game that, I certainly liked him right away. And he had NBA athleticism. I remember when we signed him, and, I told people that he's as athletic a player as we may sign here in 15 years. You just won't find a guy with that kind of bounce, that kind of timing, that kind of athleticism. It's a special gift. What's equally as special is the way that KJ's worked the last 3 years to turn other weaknesses into strengths, and to put himself in this position. So I knew he had NBA athleticism right away, and I had enough confidence in our coaches that we would help him bridge the gap. We thought he certainly had a chance to be an all-ACC player, and if you're an all-ACC player, you got a chance to play in the NBA. So, yeah, I guess I did think that.
Have you thought maybe as this day was coming, is he a 2 in the NBA eventually? Is he a 3? Have you thought much about that?
I think there's media people worry too much about putting guys in boxes. Is he a 1? Is he a 2? You look at things, what people can do. You look at what people can't do. If you want to pick weaknesses of KJ, you can find a couple weaknesses, but you got a lot of strengths over here you better pay attention to too. So whoever drafts KJ is going to be drafting him for the things that he can do. That's why you get on mock drafts, and that's why people want to draft you into the NBA, because they're looking at all the things that you can do. And his list of things he can do is about 4 times as long as the things he can't do. And whether that makes him a 2 or a 3 or whatever, he'll find a coach that figures out how to use him. For us, he played a bunch of different positions and could play with a lot of different people. And I think that's what you look for as a coach. You want a guy who's versatile like KJ, who's hardworking, who cares about the team. And his dribbling and shooting that needed some improvement, they'll improve because he'll work on it. And it's important to him.
KJ, is this moment that right now, is this something that you aspired to as a young child, or was it something that once you were here at Clemson you realized, hey, I can actually do this?
Oh, well, it's something I've dreamed of since I first picked up the basketball. So, it's been something I've been dreaming of since, childhood and, just growing up. So, it's, I'm happy. I'm happy for Clemson. I'm happy for myself, for my family. And, once again, I appreciate everything Clemson has done, and I want to thank God for it.
KJ, not that you wouldn't be pleased with whoever picks you, but do you have a favorite NBA team that when you were thinking about playing in the NBA that you would aspire to?
Oh, well, I used to love the Lakers when Kobe and Shaq played for them. And, now LeBron, he's my guy. So, pretty much the Lakers. I like the Lakers a lot, though.
KJ, in what areas do you think this path helped you develop the most over the last 3 years?
Just growing, as a young man, they've taught me things, on the court, as well as off the court. I've had, plenty of talks with Coach B, all the coaches on the coaching staff. I talked to my strength and conditioning coach a lot, Derek, Coach Steve, Coach Grant, Coach Winnicki, and Coach Bender. So, they've helped me a lot with everything, and they've helped me become, a young man, and they've also helped me make my decision here at Clemson.
Coach, with Adonis's departure and now KJ's, I think you're 1 under on the scholarship limit. Is that something you want to address for the 14 season, or maybe just roll that scholarship over?
You know, it's not something we've thought much about. Certainly here recently with KJ's, looming decision, we paid a little bit of attention and I think right now we're just like every team. We're looking at, there's a bunch of transfers out there. We certainly are paying attention to that. If we feel like we can help, find somebody that can help our program, we'll do it if they fit. But we don't feel like we have to do that for next year's team. If we go into next year's team with our current roster, we're okay with that. And we'll roll the scholarship into the next class. So I think we're in a good position that we're not like in any emergency where you look at our team and feel like there's a huge hole. There certainly is about 35 minutes and 17 points and 7 or 8 rebounds and 3 blocks that are leaving. But we have confidence that some of the guys on the team are going to make the next step as players. And that's part of the exciting part about being a college coach is watching the development of other players too. So, we're kind of just waiting to see what happens with some of it, but fully expect to go into next season with our current roster.
Brad, health-wise, Jerron better, Patrick Brooks better?
Yeah, Jerron is neither guy's really out there full-time yet. They're both still moving towards that. And so it's going to take some time, but we should be fine, here into the off-season. We should be fine in terms of getting everybody back, getting them healthy. It's been different for us because we played so long that we really haven't had a spring workout schedule. We really only worked with the guys for about a week. And so really this summer, we're kind of letting them decompress a little bit, but once we get back to summer school, we'll crank it up pretty good.